Hello guys and welcome back to Sonic Labs, and in this episode of Complete Music Theory for Beginners we'll be discussing about song structures. So we'll be talking about the very basic parts that a song consists of and about the sequence in which those parts come in a song, and I'll explain about each part, that what exactly it is. So let us begin. So here actually I have a track. It's an official track from NCS, no copyright sounds, and it's called Fall to My Grave. And this is the structure that I found out in which it was made. So first two bars are intro, then it has a 4-bar verse, then there is a 2-bar build up, then a 4-bar drop, then again there's a 4-bar verse, then again a 2-bar build up, then a drop, and at last we have our outro. So I'll explain to you each one of them one by one as we play the song. So let us begin with the intro. So I'll just play the song. An intro is anything which will help you open up your song. Like, it won't give out much of your song's vibe, but it will just help you begin your track. So your intros might not consist of that many instruments in it, and it might not be as loud as other parts of your song. As you can see, the intro is really quiet as compared to the rest of the song. So intro helps you to just begin the song and give you a little bit of hint about what kind of vibe the song is going to give. Next we transition to the verse. So let us just listen to the verse.
So dark and cold-hearted, I'm breathless to say the least. So far from a superstar, and my daydreams are killing me. Feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm never feeling okay. Good days are so hard to find. Just help me numb all the pain. I'm one step from down.
So this was the verse for this track. Now how can we define a verse? Well, a verse is actually the second most important and the second most definitive part of a track. Like, it is the part which will define your track in a certain degree. Like, the drop has the most importance, of course, but after that your verse is even more important. And if your song doesn't have a drop, then the verse will make a huge difference in terms of describing your track. So your verse has the second most highest amount of energy in it, and this is where all the vocals might begin and many instruments might be introduced. Just like how we see from intro to verse, the transition is huge. Like, there are many more instruments added to the verse.
So dark and cold-hearted, feel like I'm losing my mind.
And a verse can be repeated twice or thrice, it depends on the track, but it is repeated at least twice, and both of your verses can be different. In terms of a track with vocals, many times the vocals in the first verse are different than the second one. So verses just help you to keep up the energy of your track. And then we have the build up. Let's just listen to the build up.
My angels keep it at bay. Can't blame the people for trying. Just let me fall to my grave. Just let me fall to my grave.
This track doesn't have like a really strong build up, but usually a build up consists of many drums in it, but it's not really necessary to have that. Basically your build up will just take down the energy at its lowest possibly, and then slowly take it up with a gradual slope. So build up does the job to build some stage for your drop. Like the verse has the second most energy in it. So now that you have heard the important part of the track, the build up will help you to go from high energy to a bit low, and then it will help you develop some more energy to stage the drop, but the build up won't rise as high as the drop, so it just leads you to the drop. So let's just get towards the drop. So as you can see, the transition from the build up to the drop,
Just let me fall to my grave. Just
you see that gradual decrease in energy, and also the low frequencies are removed in this build up, and usually it is done in all EDM tracks because you want your drop to hit really hard, and your drop's main component is your bass, which is the main thing that shapes the tone of the drop. So you can also take out the bass from your track using the build up and lead it towards the drop to make it hit harder.
just let me fall to my grave.
So this track has a 4-bar drop, and actually it is 2 bars, but it is repeated twice. So the same thing repeats twice for the drop. Now how can you define your drop? Well, a drop is like the most important part of your track, and it consists of the main melody of your track. So it has all those things which people will remember after listening to that song. Basically, your drop is the highest energy element in your track, and as I said, it is the most important part of your track, and this is what people will remember. So it has the most number of instruments in it. So usually after the drop, you can have another verse for your track. So even this song has another verse.
Heart fails under pressure. Step from dying.
And then to get another drop, you just have one more build up.
Just let me
Again, you can see the build up is staging some vibe for your drop, like it is lowering the energy so you can get your drop hit harder.
just let me fall to my grave.
So that was a good variation to bring out. And after the drop, if you want, you can add one more verse which might be 2 bars long, but in case of this track they have just finished it with the outro. So an outro is similar to the intro, except for you can just reverse everything. Like the intro leads you into the song, in the same way the outro leads you out of the song. So it slowly fades out everything and it helps you finish the track. So this is how it would sound in this track. So outros are really subtle. They are just like the intros. They don't have much instruments in them. They don't cover up a lot of frequencies in them, and they just slowly take down the energy of the track and help you finish the track. So this can be a basic arrangement for a track. Now there are a lot of arrangements in music, like different genres have different types of arrangements. In case of EDM we call the main part the drop, but usually for other types of genres it's called the chorus. So you can say that chorus is equivalent to the drop. And you also have a thing called as a bridge, which can be placed in place of the verse. Now the bridge has a bit lower energy than the verse, but what happens is usually the bridge helps you introduce the verse, and that's how bridges are used. They are a little bit different from the verse, but they just lead you to the next verse. As I said, two verses are usually different. So that's how you can use bridges. And intro and outro are always at the beginning and at the end of your track, so there's no question about it. And lastly, about build-ups, they just help you stage the drop and give it some room for your drop to shine. So that's how you can use build-ups. Now in the next episode, we'll be actually creating a track arrangement in MIDI using some instruments. So there I'll explain you everything. And right now this is the basics of what a song structure is and what these parts are meant to be. So that's it for this video. Please like it if you liked it, and consider subscribing to the channel so I can give you more such content in future. And I'll see you in the next.